According to the United Nations, the world's population will grow to 9.7 billion by 2050. Global demand for protein is forecast to grow by at least 50% in the next 25 years.
But it's not just dairy, it's across all protein categories. So all industries and food manufacturing systems need to find ways to scale.
Take dairy. Current herds will struggle to meet that massive demand, which is where precision fermentation is looking to augment supply by brewing yeast into nature-identical dairy proteins.
I guess you can say we make milk without the cow.
Jim Fader is a co-founder and CEO of Eden Brew, a company on a mission to produce animal-free milk and milk products in a sustainable way. He's partnered up with Main Sequence Ventures, Dairy Cooperative Norco and the CSIRO. Eden Brew has been using CSIRO's Food Innovation Centre at Werribee to refine their precision fermentation technology and process.
We make the casein proteins and aggregate them to form the casein micelle, just the same way they aggregate inside the cow. Milk protein is about 20% whey and 80% casein proteins. The casein proteins bind together and with the minerals form a special structure called the casein micelle. And that's where the magic happens. Casein micelles are nature's way of making minerals like calcium bioavailable through a slow release process. They break down in your stomach to form a curd. That takes about 5 hours to digest, slowly releasing nutritious minerals in the process.
And in a world-first breakthrough, these important proteins can now be fortified with zinc, magnesium and iron.
We make fortified protein powders that really deliver in a unique way. So by being able to work with the casein micelle, we've unlocked the power of the way nature delivers via a curd in the tummy and then slow release. And that really does avoid a lot of the issues you get with supplementing like nausea.
The partnership between Eden Brew and Norco was a logical next step for the dairy cooperative, according to its CEO.
Eden Brew was an opportunity for us to have a non-dairy division, and with the fact that there's about 30 to 40% of our customers that also buy a non-dairy product for someone else in their family or a friend that may come to visit, this will provide them yet another option in relation to being able to do that to also help and support farmers.
So this shouldn't be seen as competition for the dairy industry?
Oh, we're better together, no doubt about that. We're co-founded by Norco, and I see we're an example of how the dairy industry is innovating to bring new and more exciting kind of foods and ingredients to market.
Eden Brew will provide Norco their proteins and formulation, just like the production of a flavoured milk. And given the proteins are identical to cows, it can be produced on their mixers and bottling lines without any disruption to operations.
It's actually quite helpful from a factory utilisation perspective, utilising spare capacity that's out there in the marketplace.
In Australia, 15% of all milk sold is an alternative milk. It's a market that's growing here and a trend that's being repeated around the world.
Being part of that market with Eden Brew certainly makes very good commercial sense for us.
Initially, it will cost approximately $4 to produce a litre of Eden Brew. Expensive compared to cow's milk, but comparable to other non-animal milks in the category. By 2030, it's expected Eden Brew will be similar in price per litre to cow's milk.
We're really looking to sell protein powders as an ingredient to manufacturers who like to renovate their foods and improve the nutritional profile of their foods.
The technology and the innovation and the science behind the product that Eden Brew has been able to develop in conjunction with the CSIRO and partners will put their product, certainly in my view, well ahead of where their competition is.
When it comes to sustainability, the figures around precision fermentation versus farm gate are powerful, especially around water use.
Eden Brew uses about 10 litres of water to make 1 litre of milk. And when you compare that to other forms of milk, so the dairy industry would use, as a rule of thumb, about 1,000 litres of water. Almonds, for example, uses up to 6,000 litres of water.
For anyone who's ever tasted non-dairy products, it's safe to say the proof will be in the animal-free pudding for consumers.
I certainly have tried the Eden Brew milk and it's good.
Beautiful.
Eden Brew sort of really hits the mark if the more traditional dairy flavours, mouthfeel and nutritional profile is what you're after.
You won't know the difference. We've proved it with milk and ice cream, and cheese is the biggest opportunity where the gap, I think, in research shows between plant-based cheese and dairy cheese is greatest.
In 2026, Eden Brew will commence making their milk product at Norco's Gold Coast facility, and their non-dairy frozen dessert will be produced at the Co-op's Lismore factory in northern New South Wales.